Hello everyone, my name is Kenneth and welcome to or back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be finishing off the Cashual Chuck SB19 Story series, episodes 5 and 0. If you've been following since episode 1, you know that I've cried a little bit during this series, and I didn't expect to. Thankfully in the last episode, it was because of happy tears. A lot more. And also a lot of you guys in the comments were saying that you also cried even watching it back with me. So it was nice that I wasn't just like crying by myself. Before we get into this video, I just want to say again thank you to CashualChuck for making all of these videos. They are so well researched, so well produced, and might I say the music that he adds to the intro and stuff. But yeah, please go. I will have in the description the links to the series. Please go check them out. Please give them the support that they deserve. And yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it.
If I told you that Gento era started way before 2023, would you believe me? This video was taken more than a year ago on SB19's legendary comeback in the Wish Bus. You will realize it when you see it. In a world where choices and chances collide, a concept emerges. It's captivating and mysterious.
Wow.
Fate.
Fate.
This is a journey that transcends the boundaries of ordinary existence, challenging our perceptions and igniting our curiosity. Prepare to question, marvel, and discover the forces that shape their lives. Were they just mere pawns in the grand scheme of things? Or did they, against all odds, become masters of their own destinies? Back in SB19's training days, they loved listening to OPM songs during their breaks and stretching sessions.
Are you feeling the burn?
Are songs from Ben and Ben. They really looked up to them because of their music. They were simply just humble fans of an already established Filipino band. And in 2019, when they were still trying to make a name for themselves, something quite unexpected happened.
Hello everyone, we're here with KennethIain!
If you haven't noticed, they really tried their best to appear calm and professional as they met their idols. But after they parted ways and entered their vehicle, SB19 pretty much lost it and became fanboys themselves, which was quite a wholesome sight.
Hey! We met Ben and Ben, bro! Successful performance and Ben and Ben!
Pagpasok namin ng sasakyan, tapos bilang lumabas sa sasakyan nila yung Ben and Ben. Tapos, lumalapit sila, sabi na, pa-picture tayo.
I really like that. No, I really like that. Like when you, because a lot of people forget that, like, not just SB19, but like idols and performers and artists in general, they're still people. They still have people that they admire and appreciate, and to see them acting like maybe you or I would act around them. That's cute.
Sobrang saya ako, tumatalon talaga ako sa saya. So, pagka nag-collab tayo, Ben and Ben SB19, so Ben19. Ben19. SB19. SB19.
And 2 years later, man, who would have thought that wishful thinking would actually turn into reality? Crazy stuff for sure, but not as crazy as this one. In 2021, SB19 were asked about their plans after the Pagsibol EP, and this was their answer.
Gusto po namin magkaroon ng parang katulad po sa ibang bansa na magkaroon talaga ng music show na talagang solely yung mga grupo na nagsasama-sama, pinopromote yung mga ganyan bagay. Kasi dun makikita, dun mapapanood din ng mga ibang audiences from all over the world yung talent ng Filipinos. So, hopefully next year makasatuparan. Basta.
So, parang in short, Philippine pop convention.
This interview wasn't released to the public until the next year because I think the media didn't believe them. Maybe they thought it was impossible to unite all artists in the P-pop scene because it is known to be very competitive.
What is with the media in this bloody series? Can there not just be? Can there Is there one good media person in this series? Please. Please.
Competitive. Even fandoms go to war from time to time, and the sheer scale of logistics alone to get everyone on board could make most organizers quit their job. But hey, despite the uncertainty, they managed to pull it off.
Wow.
How did they do it? Well, maybe SB19 were just so determined to prove that P-pop is not a competition. It's a community.
I like that. It's like in general with like music and stuff like that, not just relating to the Philippines, but like in K-pop, in Western, in Western music, in general. The media rolls eyes. The media enjoys pitting everybody against everybody, and then it trickles down into the fan bases. Some simple thing about like, female artists in Western countries, they'll be like, who's the next this person? Who's the next that person? Or is this person copying this person? And it's kind of just like, they can all have a space. They can all exist, and I really like that with the idea of PPopCon.
That historic event happened in Araneta Coliseum, a stage that, back in the day, SB19 could only dream of. At the time, they could only joke about it. But they had no idea that it would actually become their home stage.
What's up, Araneta?
I can't wait. I'm just gonna sorry to pause. I can't wait to see performance lives, because obviously I've watched the Wish Bus. I've watched a Bus performance, but I want to see how, like, because seeing these clips, like, the energy is like, even in these clips, is just like hitting me. So I genuinely cannot wait to like see performance videos of them in this kind of environment.
At this point, you probably recognize a pattern already. When SB19 makes a prediction, they likely come true. Which is pretty crazy, to be honest.
I think the thing about that, though, is the fact that they do the work. Yes, they say, we're going to this stadium. Yes, we're going to do this PPopCon. Yes, we're going to become a household name, not just in P-pop, but, internationally. And then they go and do the work. And I think that is why KennethIain rallies so ferociously to the boys and to the members, because they put in that work. They put in the hours. They don't just go, yeah, next year we're going to do this, and then just sit there doing nothing for that next year, and then expect everything to fall into place, which I like.
But what's beyond crazy is when it reaches the level of insanity. You see, when they were asked to wear a blindfold on the Halloween of 2019, Pablo said this.
Parang napanood ko na to sa TV. Feeling ko alam po saan tayo pupunta, sa Pinoy Big Brother.
Oo nga, no?
Ganito yun eh.
Ganito ba yun?
Lilipat na tayo sa bahay ni Kuya. Kaya SB sa bahay ni Kuya.
And 2 years later,
Wow.
Hello po Kuya.
Hello po.
Maligayang pagdating sa aking bahay, SB19.
So they were actually blindfolded for more than 2 years? Anyway, when SB19 entered the Pinoy Big Brother house, they easily became one of the most entertaining guests the show has ever had and gave birth to some very interesting interactions.
I'm just gonna say, I'm not a fan of Big Brother in general, but I think for these guys, just because, like he said, they were so entertaining, I feel like I would watch. Oh no. Wait, is it serious? Uh-oh.
Yeah, we gonna go up. Yang nakikita sa aking mata. Itong aking pinaglako.
Me?
Yeah, we gonna go up. Ibibigay ko ang aking puso. Kahit pa imposible. Yeah, we gonna go up.
Kinikilig ako. Hindi ko po kanina kuya matago talaga yung kilig ko kuya kasi gaga ang pogi pa nila.
I really like... I've paused a lot. I really like Pablo's two-toned hair when it's like that. I noticed in an earlier clip there was a slightly different hairstyle, but it was kind of still the two-toned. I don't know, I just really like that.
Ipinakikilala ko sa inyo ang SB19.
Dito nakapunta na po kayo sa Egypt.
Actually, no. Not yet.
Ako nakapunta na akong Egypt. Electronic jeepney.
Sister, may iwan ka dito. Ha? Sister, may iwan ka dito. Bagay ka sa bahay ni Kuya.
Ba mga bang furniture?
Ken, anong pakiramdam na hindi naman talaga bakasyon pero semi-break?
Parang natanggalan ng ano.
And I was crying on the staircase, begging you please don't go. And I said, wala ka man ngayon sa aking piling. Nasasaktan man ang puso at damdamin. Mulit-muli sa'yo na aaminin, ika'y mahal pa rin. At kung sakali na muling magkita at marama na mayroon pang pag-asa, ngunit muli sa'yo.
How is he sleeping through this? How are any of them sleeping through this?
Magpasya. Ang imong Adarna, napagaling ka rin dahil dito.
Yeah, typical SB19 antics right there. Now if you think that prediction was insane, then I have something more insane coming up.
Holy shit, this is insane. Max. Yeah, quiet, I'm sorry.
When Josh celebrated his birthday back in 2020, SB19 members surprised him with a mysterious guest. And this mysterious guest apparently can read minds. He told Josh to ask him anything about his future, and this was his question.
Ano gusto mong malaman about your future sa isip lang?
Will I be a professional esports player?
Interesting question. Okay, not what I thought.
Here's the answer. I hope you have the time to be an esports player in the future when SB19 goes international.
Wow.
Now, let me just emphasize yung sagot ko. I hope you have the time to be an esports player, a professional esports player for that matter. You're gonna be a semi-professional esports player. Right? But I hope you find the time when SB19 goes international.
Oh, di ka lang
So not only did Josh
I feel that. I feel that. Because the question itself, like, will I be like a successful esports player? is a weird question. It's not what I would have like, because I know he games and things, but I wouldn't have expected that to be the question. And so I love that Pablo is kind of like me in that moment. Like, why do I care about that? I do, we're gonna be international. I'm kind of like that.
Became a pro esports player, but SB19 also went international by entering the Billboard charts and having success with their first ever world tour while proudly representing their country.
You made the Philippines proud, but you make all of us proud.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
If we turn back time and ask random people, most of them might not even believe it would happen.
I don't believe in superstitions.
And this created one of the most memorable moments, especially for their international fans. When SB19 were just about to wrap up the concert in San Francisco, this suddenly happened.
SNFT 18! Maraming salamat. Alam nyo, kinakabahan ako sa mga ganito. Wow! Wow! Okay, let's watch it from the side. Uy! Wow! Bilis ah. Yeah! Our first US, di ba? US television. Our US debut! US debut. Wish USA! Let's go!
Aww.
That's my tour. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much, SB19, and see you soon.
Yeah!
Congratulations, SB19, on your successful tour. Thank you, SB19. See you next time.
I want to congratulate SB19 for finishing your first US tour. Thank you, SB19, and we'll see you next time.
Hi, Mahaliman. Congratulations for your first US tour. And keep in mind that we love you. This is just the beginning. Thank you so much, SB19. See you next time. See you in Canada.
We hope you enjoyed your stay here in the US during your wild tour and have plenty of memories with your friends. Thank you, SB19. See you next time.
Thank you, SB19. See you next time.
Hi, SB19. Congratulations on your tour. See you next year.
Thank you, SB19.
See you next time.
Thank you, SB19. See you next time.
Aww. This is too cute. Oh, yes, Riff, whoever else that was.
are so blessed to have you guys, you know, and to have this platform where we could enjoy and do what we love, and at the same time inspire and motivate people. Talagang we have the responsibility, and we will do our best to inspire people and motivate people, and together we will attain our goals together. So I'm just really blessed and happy that we have you guys. We're so thankful from the beginning up until now. You have been, you know, unconditionally supporting us, and we know that this is just the start. I love you too. I love you. Words can express what I feel right now, pero I'm really, really overwhelmed and my heart is so full. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you so much, guys. Changed our lives. Alam niyo, before, it was just our dream actually to come here. So do not tour in the Philippines, but you guys are always there. Couldn't thank you enough. We couldn't thank you enough. You guys made us stronger. Thank you.
Nope, I'm not doing it.
Yo, not gonna lie.
We're not doing it. We're not doing it. No. I wanted to say, but there was not like a really good point. God damn it! There wasn't really a good point to stop. To stop and talk. When the clips came on, that was one thing, and I could feel myself welling up, and I was like, no, we're gonna stay strong. We're gonna get through this. And then Looks Like We Made It started playing. I adore that song, and I think that's the perfect song for SB19 to go through everything that they went through, and then to make it here, past tense here, as well as you get what I mean. But to make it here, it's just a perfect song, and I felt myself going. The minute Josh started speaking. Josh opened his little mouth and started being all I can't think of the word, but and then I could feel myself going. How dare you? No, but I know I'm still new to these guys and this group, but it's definitely a feeling of pride I have when I watch these clips back. Yeah.
Hey, that was a tiny bit emotional.
You think?
You know, SB19 started from nothing. They were once very young, but they dared themselves to dream. You may call it fate, prediction, or manifestation. But besides that, they also put in the work by practicing more than everybody.
That's what I said.
More than everybody, and sacrificing more than everybody. So this time, I'll let you decide the conclusion of this video. Is SB19 really predetermined? Or do they possess the power to shape their own destiny?
All the makeup. You guys, I'm not a big fan.
Something about it felt a little inauthentic to me. I just felt like they were trying really, really hard.
Yo, you heard those boys saying the first thing you're gonna go is hit them jackets?
So anong feeling pag binabalikan yung mga times na yon na ang daming people na nagda-doubt?
Huyo kayo ngayon.
Ang daming people na nagda-doubt.
Huyo kayo ngayon.
Okay, they're cool. Just in that clip before the interview question there. I laughed because I realized that afterwards that the guy could have been meaning something else if he was joining in. When he said about, like, you hear the boys sing and then you bring up their jackets, I laughed because I was like, he's not wrong. You hear someone or a group of someone's with a lot of talent, and your first thought is to go to their outfits. Like I appreciate like when you watch something, you know, you're drawn to whatever you're drawn to, but it's kind of like that was your first thought. You could have gone with anything. I said a lot of what I wanted to say while I was watching the episode, but just a few little things just before we go into the next one. Firstly, I personally am not a spiritual person. I don't believe in fate or destiny. I do believe in luck. In some ways, but in general, I'm not someone who's that kind of minded. So for me, when I look at a group like SB19, I think, what have they done? You know, what have they said they're going to do, and what have they done? And so they said, we're going to do this. So they put in the work to do this. You know, even, you know, not talking about the P-Popcorn or the US tour, even just thinking about the story behind the debut song, which we'll get to, I promise. Even when I think about that everything had an intent behind it. And, you know, you could ask the spiritual question, what if they debuted with a different song? And I think it wouldn't have mattered because they would have still ended up in this place because they have such a work ethic, they have such a talent, and they have such a camaraderie as a group that I don't think it would have mattered what song they debuted, when they debuted that song. They would have still had a timeline of events where that hard work would have taken them from whatever that debut was or whatever, you know, even before that, the training period, to the eventual success that they are now starting and continuing to reach. Because they are genuinely just that strong-willed. And like I said, they've got such a good work ethic. I can word. Again, watching the earlier episodes to this, the media rolls eyes. I get, you know, when like a group like SB19 is deemed like the underdogs, but you don't have to make it harder. Like, I feel like you could have been as nice to SB19 as possible, and they would have still worked as hard as they did when, you know, they're being belittled by press conference number 1 or press person number 2 or, you know, whatever it is. Yes, the reasoning behind it is different, but they would still have the work because, you know, the belittling kind of strategy is, you know, we're going to prove you wrong. Whereas if they'd have gone with a more like positive like thing of a reaction to them, the result would have been, okay, we've got this. Now, how do we elevate this kind of thing? And I think that's what we're going to see now because of the success and acclaim that the group is getting. We're going to get to that point that we probably should have already got to, where instead of, they're still going to want to prove themselves, but it's going to be a case of, we have proved ourselves. How do we keep proving ourselves? Because a group like SB19 doesn't just go, okay, we got some nice comments on this song, we got this, we got that, we're just going to stop. You know, or we're just going to take it easy. They're, each time they come back with something, or each time they do something, they're going to put 110% in. And I can say that even as a new fan of theirs because of what I've seen. And I think that's important when because I've mentioned like how do I approach reacting to these guys? Do I start with the music? Do I start with this? And I think it's important that I started more so with this. I know we did a couple of songs before, but I think it's important that we start with this, properly, because it makes you appreciate what you're listening to and what you're seeing a lot more, because it's very, very easy to flick open your phone, go into Spotify, find an artist you like, and listen to the song. You listen to the 3 minutes, 30 seconds song, or whatever the length is, and you come away from it, and you're like, yeah, I liked it. It was nice. Wee, wee, wee. But without having the context of the story and the struggles that maybe have not directly related to that particular song, but have influenced something in the way that they perform the song, or the way that it might be about a lyric. Sorry, my stomach. It might be about a lyric. But having that context is useful, because then you can go, I can see where this came from. Like if it's an emotional song, I can go, oh, maybe it was inspired by this, maybe, and it grounds it in much more than what opening Spotify, opening Apple Music, whatever you listen to your music on, vinyl, would do, because anyone can do that. Anyone can load up a song and listen to the songs, for the duration, and then come away and be like, enjoyed it, and it have no impact. I said about the song Looks Like We Made It. That was a song for me that I heard as a kid, and it became a formative part of my musical journey growing up. And I'll be honest, I've never looked into why Shania Twain or whomever wrote it, or if she wrote it with people. I have no context behind that song. Now it's been a part of my life since I can remember. But it's not the same experience as if I could say, oh, she wrote it about this, they wrote it about that. And I like having that information in my mind. Maybe, I'm not going to say I'm going to remember everything, because I'm not a computer, I can't remember everything. But I can go into a song, like Napa, for instance, and I can think, oh, that moment when they performed with family members on stage, emotional song. I can think back to the part of the Cashual Chuck episode. Oh, during the pandemic, the song was used as kind of an anchor for people that listen to it. All of these things influence the music and the way, not just me, but everyone ingests music and takes it in. And so I'm glad that I've done it this way for that reason. Now, because I've been rambling, we're going to get on to episode 0. And this one is titled Ghost, and it's about the 3 missing members. And I think this will be a nice little end to this series. But I'm glad that I've watched this series, and I'm glad that I am sharing this with you guys. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into it. And yes, go and support, please.
Disclaimer, this video is only based on my personal research. I might miss some details and it's possible to have discrepancies, but I did my best to get as much accurate information as possible, so enjoy. Some people called me out because I credited the Go Up dance choreography to Stell and Ken. They wanted me to only credit Stell. Well, guess what? I was wrong. Because it was all of them who choreographed it.
Sino ba yung mainly nag-choreograph ng Bakit? Ikaw ba nag-choreograph ng ad-lib? Kakapolish ko sa inyo, nakabisado ko na yung ad-libs nyo. Oh.
It was a team effort. Now that we're past that, let's get into the video. This is the timeline that most of us know. A timeline that we managed to stitch together using the information we found on the web. The internet is a vast universe.
I'm just gonna say 2016 feels like a century ago.
It is so big that there are still tons of information that are just hidden in plain sight. And some of them are just waiting to be discovered.
That's a cool animation.
What if I told you that Pablo, Stel, Josh, and Justin almost debuted with 3 other guys in 2017? Would you believe me?
I could believe you. Sorry, I'm gonna go back. I could believe you. But it doesn't look right. I don't know about you guys, but when I see that picture, that doesn't look like right to me. His voice.
Did Still just belt the entire bridge? Damn. Their group surely looked and sounded promising, but what exactly happened to the 3 other guys?
Before we even became SB19 as a group po, actually si Stel na iwan siya. Si Stel and Justin actually. Kumbaga lahat kami nag-quit na. Bumalik lang kami dahil nga parang gusto namin pagpatuloy yung pangarap namin.
Yeah, that made me cry.
Has a negative connotation, but we have to understand that there are a lot of things going on behind that decision. A good example is the lack of financial income because they didn't even have a salary to begin with. And I'm sure that there are many other valid reasons. Imagine doing the same thing over and over and over again for more than 2 years. I can only imagine their state of mind during those times. So let's address the elephant in the room. Who are these guys? And where in the world are they now? Do you recognize this guy? I'm not talking about shirtless Stel, you guys. I'm talking about this guy, Rafa. Supposed to be the group.
I was called out.
I'm talking about this guy, Rafa. He was supposed to be the group's bass vocalist. After training with Show BT, he moved on by running a K-pop reaction channel on YouTube. He also works as a freelance videographer and is now actively supporting his presidential candidate. He also made an appearance in the emotionally charged video greeting for SB19 in their Our Zone concert.
Oh my God, Rafa!
After a few test runs, they revamped the group to join the 2017 Pinoy K-pop star. This is when the prototype team was formed. For whatever reason, Rafa was replaced by this guy, Zeno. They did not win in the competition. After Zeno's stint with Show BT, he became a member of the OG roster of the K-pop cover group called Zero to Hero. And speaking of OG members, it just so happened that C13 of Vision was part of it as well. It's so mind-blowing how interconnected our idols' lives were, and I'm not even done yet. During my research, I stumbled upon this clip with C13 and Josh on the same stage. Just a fair warning, what you're about to see will slightly break your heart. I also saw C13 getting tired of his clothes.
I mean, it's a way to make an impact.
Nanahimik ako sa pagre-research tapos ito yung bubulaga. Anyway, when C13 left the country to work in the US, the remaining Zero to Hero members decided to debut as a P-pop group.
Sa'yo na lang ang puso kong ito. Ginamit na may gasgas pa pero gumagana pa naman. Sana naman ingatan mo ito. May takot man pero kayang lampasan. Huwag kang mag-alala.
I'm sure most of you didn't know this, but their debut wasn't a success, so they were forced to back out. After the setback, Zeno got into modeling and also pursued his interest in freelance videography. In the present day, he lives his life privately with a little mix of dancing from time to time.
Oh, that was cool.
While all of these things are happening,
Okay, that was the coolest rock, paper, scissors game I think I've ever seen.
our boy Ken has been wreaking havoc in the K-pop dance cover world with his group GA7,
Neck broke. Mine.
and Amigo 7. Sheesh. The next one I'm gonna talk about is this guy, Kurt. Not gonna lie, I sometimes mistook him for Justin because they have a similar frame. Even before his trainee days, he was already a member.
It's like if Justin and Josh were melded.
After training with
Sorry, I love the choreo to Blood, Sweat and Tears, and I also love that dang outfit.
After training with Show BT, he moved on by teaching dance to students and continued performing with his K-pop cover group called Principium. You can check out their YouTube channel. They still make some awesome K-pop dance covers to this day. Kurt presently works as an animator and a digital painter as well.
Wow. We're getting inspirational music. I'm not crying. We're not gonna do it.
It wasn't only Pablo who stood there to watch the whole duration of PHP's rehearsal. There was also Stel, Josh, and Justin. It's because they were brothers. The last guy who almost became SB19 happens to be a member of PHP now, and that is JP. This guy, along with Charles and Yukito, were Pablo's mentors because he was the youngest among their PHP dance cover group. They were instrumental in what Pablo has become. The boys also trained in Show BT together, only to see their closest brothers to not make it.
Aww.
This specific moment is very special because we just witnessed the full circle. From Pablo being the youngest to becoming the leader of SB19. From seeing his brothers struggle so hard to finally seeing their success.
That's beautiful. And that also goes with everything else that I've seen, not just with Pablo, but with the entire SB19 group. In that, you know, they always make that clear about P-pop not being a competition. And I love the respect that they have, even though they're not all in the same group anymore. You know, and they all went, you know, their different paths, and they've all kind of come back together. Obviously not together, but, you know, they're in the same event. You know, but they went their different paths, but they still got back to that same point. Oh. If I start crying, it's his fault.
Moments when you feel like it's easier to give up. Heck, some people in this video even gave up at one point.
Yeah.
But they came right back with a different perspective. Their past didn't break them. It built them. Yukito was in fact the leader of Zero to Hero that failed in their debut. But that didn't stop him. He came back with a different game plan together with his brothers who also failed with him in the past, and look at where they are now. So if you're watching this video and you are going through tough times, change your perspective. Thank the person who broke up with you because it gave you the opportunity to meet someone better in your life. Thank your boss for firing you because it gave you the opportunity to explore entrepreneurship. Thank your haters because life would be boring without them. Don't be bitter. Be better. Always choose to be kind. If you don't do that, you'll just end up as a mere ghost in the past.
Okay, that was actually a really nice way of ending the series. And obviously, in the timeline it was made, it wasn't the final episode. But I think actually for me, contextually, going from 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, and then coming back to 0, actually makes the experience a lot better. I don't want to use the phrase I wouldn't care, but it would have less of an impact on me, I think, if I'd have seen less of the series, because I wouldn't have been as aware of everything of things that had gone on around the other SB19 members. And so I wouldn't have, as an emotional reaction, you know, simple thing, Pablo being the youngest out of those members of that group, you know, becoming a leader, I would have been impressed, of course, you know, getting from point A to point B, but it wouldn't have had the same impact. Like, again, I nearly cried again. You know, so and so I think watching it in this order has definitely been better. Also because the order in which we've watched this together, you and I, it's allowed, I think, for a great conclusion. And I know it wasn't made to be a conclusion, but I think it's the perfect thing. I said it the minute I saw that picture with the what could have been SB19 members, and I said to you, it didn't look right. And you know, you could be like, oh, that's because you're coming from it from this side. You know, if you'd come from it the other way, but I think watching them be like that, and they were good. You know, watching the earlier performances of the early members, you know, even when they were Paradox, not SB19, there was something missing. They sounded good and they were great, but watching it, it was like, oh, this isn't what I expect. This isn't what I expected. This doesn't fit. And it's the simple thing of having Ken there, having those members in in that group be together, that makes it to me. I look at this, and I think even if Ken had been added to it, like instead of like getting rid of members, they kept those members and added Ken, it would still feel off. And so watching this video as the last video and especially seeing them, coming back together at that event, and especially the speech at the end that Chuck made about changing your perspective, I think that is the perfect way to end the story of SB19 in terms of, obviously not end, but the abridged version of their success story. It's the perfect way of ending that, because you had all those trials and tribulations, you had all those issues and difficulties and adversities, and having those those extra members leaving and joining and changing, that all adds to it as well. Because I mean, that further shows the guy's work ethic, because these people have seen people that they've been close with not make it, and so the drive that they had just to get through that part is incredibly strong. And so I'm just I'm coming away from this series feeling very satisfied. Even though their story isn't over, I feel very satisfied by this conclusion of the series. Yeah, yeah, I didn't know what to expect when I was getting into this. I'll be really, really honest. But I'm really, really glad that I have started this journey and I'm continuing this journey with you guys. I don't think I have anything else to say, so I will thank you guys for watching. Again, don't forget to go and support the original videos. I will have the link in the description. And yes, thank you so much for watching. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, guys.